here. The channel is live from the Capsule, and I'm back on here with another live stream. I've been a little bit disconnected as far as doing longer form content and kind of doing live streams, which is kind of where I get those watch hours and or kind of get my mind on video, my vlogs, if that's what you want to call them. So I've just not been doing these. Just life's been pretty hectic. I've had some personal things going on, and really, all of those are the excuses that we use as people to like not do the things. But those have kind of been the things that I've been focusing on, and um, when you lose the repetition of doing something and or your streamlined process, at least for me, I can speak for myself, I do best when I kind of have groundhog days where I kind of do the same things over and over again, and then it just becomes easy. I have that in a lot of portions of my life, where like the reason why I read is because I just kind of created that habit where like 10 minutes a day. Usually I do it in the morning, but sometimes I don't. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I get it in at another part of the day. Sometimes I'm at the shop sitting on the couch for a few minutes. Sometimes I'm waiting for my wife in the car or something like that. Waiting for my daughter when I pick her up, but I try for the most part to get that. And it's just kind of instilled that repetition. And that's just kind of who I am, right? I think some things stick, some things don't stick. Hence why we have, the New Year's resolutions and how many people, I would say that the percentage rate is pretty high for people that don't complete and or follow through with their um, New Year's resolution. So, easier said than done. But that's kind of what this video is about. I'm hoping that the audio is good because I have this like mic hanging from my necklace. Um, there's been this thing on YouTube where when I'm going to upload these shorts, it's almost like a moderator or someone that's um, uh, kind of revising your content before you put it out, and it grades you on kind of like the things that you need or should be doing. And it said that it's better if I use a mic just for better audio, and it can't hurt. They're giving me all the utensils and or information that I need to better my content, so why not take the advice and at least try it, right? But what I noticed, and it's happened to me many, many a times, I'm no spring chicken. I'm not in my 20s, guys. So I'm a late learner. I'm a late bloomer. Let's just say that, right? Because I've known this for a very long time, and fitness has always taught me this. That it's through the structure and the repetition and the boring times of you just like continually doing the same thing over and over and over again is what's going to get you the results that you need or the data that you need, and or give yourself the confidence. Hey, what's going on? How are you? Thank you for joining the chat. Give you the confidence that you need, your self confidence to continue to do the things that you're doing. And I find that when I lose that, and I want to speak for myself, but I want to also believe that I'm not that different from other humans, right? I'm no like special person, and we're all pretty similar. Like everybody has their characteristics and the way that they break things down, but in athletes, in mathematicians, people building anything that's pretty special, people that develop a style. Those are things that the outsiders that kind of want to have. Most people want to have a lot of variety in their life and not make it so boring and do just that one thing then they never become like that outlier, right? Um, and or build the amount of work that you can look at and be like, okay, I've done this for X amount of time. I have and deserve the merit to be able to speak upon this and or continue to do videos or anything like that, because there's a lot of self-talk that's going on. Yeah, I got the pencil. If you look at my content, I do a lot of drawing on here. One of the ways that I express myself, I guess that's part of the art in the artist's journey of me being able to express myself. I do it through my day-to-day life is tattooing, and then I like to draw and I like to talk on here and communicate my ideas and get people to collaborate with me as well. so I can just learn new things. I love the prompt drawing thing. I draw out of these books constantly. If you can see, and that's where the shorts come from. And I really like that because it pushes my mind to see what I know and what I don't know. It's very off the cuff. It helps me be repetitive. I find it, within the bracket of 1 to 10. Um, it's easy peasy. It's on the 3 4 for me. So I find it that I can do it pretty regularly. I'd like to get into doing maybe bigger pieces. I've always had the idea and or want to like complete pieces in their entirety and do them monochromatically and then also in color and then have them as a solo piece of art like on canvas, something that would be represented very beautifully on canvas, but also uh, Muskie from Stockton is your son. I don't know. I don't know who that is. But if you message me and or follow me on Instagram, you can message me Art by Manny and or go ahead and throw me a message on here. I'd be interested to know what you're talking about. Thanks for joining the thanks for joining the chat. Um, but and then hyperimpose them on limbs and or like front panels and stuff like that and give people the selling point. It's like the selling point, right? Like they shine the golden nugget in front of you so then you could be intrigued to kind of know and or want that, right, at a later date. Then and do that and kind of put that on my workstation. Maybe have you guys watch me develop these ideas and paint them in real time. But yeah, I just wanted to come on here today and do a short live because, honestly, I've been feeling a little guilty that I haven't been doing it. I've you know, done a lot of the channel building and dropped the links and stuff for my Instagram. And I have made a little bit of progress, but I'm just not doing it at the level that I should be doing it. So I wanted to come on here and talk about the structure and how that's super important to anybody who wants to build anything and or myself, like kind of doing the same thing over and over. Build a day calendar of to-dos and kind of just do those things over and over. And drawing is kind of one of those things where it catapults everything else, right? Like I do the drawing, I'm able to do the video, I'm able to learn something new, I'm developing my skill, which I bring back into tattooing. It's a win-win, 135% for myself. And I would imagine that any field that anybody else would be in, skinny. That's funny. That's funny. Mario the dog. That's actually really funny. And he sounded like the skinny DJ Khaled. Go ahead, yeah. Go. Hey, I'll take it. I guess, right? Um, but life is fleeting. One of those personal things that has happened to me lately that had prevented me from kind of coming on here and doing the live streams. I guess my spirits weren't there. Is that I've had someone that really close to me pass over to the other side, and the reminder of that was that time is fleeting, and my brother-in-law was younger than me, so. That's there's something to be said about that. He was a very accomplished gentleman, did a lot of things, educated, had a beautiful family, and then his time came, and they wanted to punch his ticket. One day I'll do a video about that and maybe you know give you guys a breakdown of kind of how that shifted my mindset in the time frame. I've always kind of been the same guy, but this one was one of those things where, yeah, you think that you have all this time to do all these things. Like, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it later. There's sayings that say, like, don't leave for tomorrow what you can do today. And the reasoning behind that is, yeah, that life is brief. Justin, you got it. Life is brief. It comes in a blink of an eye. I remember when I was, right after my high school days, and I was having a blast, and when I met my wife, and all that time was like, it seems like it wasn't that long ago, but it kind of was, like over a decade ago, right? And um, I've had a lot of good ideas, things that I want to do, things that I've seen other people do and inspire me to want to do. And if you don't build the system to actually put that into place, you kind of never do it. That's why like you see these gated communities, and or I have like a lot of construction that's going on around my house. I live in Southwest Florida, so that's like pretty common around here. There's like construction everywhere, right? Um, let's try it. Right here, guys. Just give me a moment. I'm gonna go ahead and put a question in the chat. Are you guys liking the audio? All right. I think I put do I get to move this, or I'm not sure, guys. Are you guys able to see me? Are you guys watching this thing on the what's covering my face? Uh Answer if you can. This is my new mic. Like I said, I was just wondering if the audio is good. Um but you think you have all this time to do all this stuff, and it's just like, you gotta kind of build the system. And what I was saying is, I live in Southwest Florida, and there's a lot of construction going on. And um that's why it costs so much money to build a custom home. And that's why, when they put these gated communities up, or like these big apartment complexes, like they have a system of how they're going to specifically do that. Because if you were to go in there and say like, hey, I want to build this house, or I want to, and you can have all the know-how, you can know that there's bricks, and you need a foundation and a slab, and there's plumbing, and basically have all the big framework. Where has time gone? Through the moment, I'm questioning my purpose. Do I need a new one? Do I need to change something? Needs to change. Yeah, man. Only you can have the answers to that. Justin, man, I appreciate you chiming in on the chat. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. I have conversations like this most of the time. I sometimes dump a little bit of art theory, history, my life lessons, my tattoo journey as far as getting tattooed, tattoos that I'm doing. Also, I throw a little bit of finance and life planning because I am a father of two and married. So I just kind of have a lot to talk about. I like to base it around art because that's kind of where I most of my life is focused on, and it teaches me a ton on other platforms as well. But yes, they have like these systems where they, boom, boom, boom. You can go in there, and if you don't have that, it's gonna take you like forever. Like, oh, we got to, are we gonna do the windows first, and then you kind of learn as you go. But you're kind of wasting a lot of time, and that's what we're talking about here. There's really not a lot of time for you to excel in the way that I would imagine that you would want to, if we're talking to the people that I believe are listening and have the mindset that I'm kind of preaching to, and I would imagine that my audience would be. Um, you're not going to get the results that you want. That's what I believe. If you don't build a system, pick a clear goal, and then like build a system and how you're going to achieve that, and then do that every day. You want to get crazy and you want to do it 3 to 4 times a day, sure, but just like do it every day. And then you'll notice that over time you're going to move that needle pretty quickly. And um, you'll see that the beginning of the journey and the trajectory is kind of like really steep, right? Like it's really hard to get started. And then once you hit stride, it's almost like you almost level out. And then it comes a point in time where you're just coasting, you've developed enough skills where nothing is really throwing you off your kilter. And then there will become a point in time where you're going to either add more weight and want to bring more things onto the plate and diversify, which kind of creates that uphill trajectory again. And or you have the choice whether you want to like make things easier and fall off as you progressively get older, and you want to diversify your time and do other things with it. And guys, I speak a lot with people in general, just because I'm in the service industry. Doing tattoos, I am collaborating with people and making artwork, not only of the things that I like and things that I want to tattoo, but also things that people like and or have meaning to them and they want to get tattooed. I also was a barber for many years. I was I grew up in church. So what I'm saying is I've spoken to a big array of people that it spans in class and in mindset and in age and I think more than the average person. I could be mistaken, but that's kind of where I get a lot of my perspective from. I feel like I did graduate high school and do some college and some continuing education as well. I still to this day do continuing education and have certificates and completions in a lot of design and architecture. And I've taken finance courses. Udemy was one of those platforms that I used pretty regularly for a while. And I'm just one of those people that thrive off of, I guess, learning new things. And I learn through traditional ways of reading, writing, seeing things on TV and or watching documentaries. But I feel like my strong suit is like the in-person interaction. And I am hyper intrigued by the AI movement and the AI boom. It's super cool. I know a lot of people are scared and they kind of don't like it because they feel like the displacement is going to be too grand for the benefits that it's going to bring. And I understand that, but it doesn't stop me from like kind of looking at it and kind of liking it, right? And the love for the prompt drawing and then being able to now knock down some of my research time as far as like learning things through that. um I just think I'm going to have a really good time in the next, not to go too far out in the future, like in the next couple years, as far as learning and polishing my craft and or putting myself in a position that one day I dreamed of and only spoke about. um so that's that. But a message in today's live stream is, build the structure, build the system, find what it is that kind of makes your clock tick. What really, and it's really hard to do nowadays, guys. I'm preaching and saying on here like it's a very easy thing to do. It's very hard to do nowadays. I feel like the internet and social media and just the availability of information has made things very difficult for you to like actually pick one thing to want to double down on. But um, that would be my advice, is just like pick the one thing that you really want to learn about, really want to get better at, and that's really going to help you feel like you move the needle in your life, and build a system around getting better at that and being more familiar with that particular thing. If you can't and or feel like you can't do it, or you feel like you're gonna have a problem doing it on your own, I'd say go down the Google rabbit hole. Ask any of these large language models, which are the Gemini's, the Chat GPTs, the Groks. I think if you go in Google now, it automatically kind of does the Gemini AI feature for you, so it kind of scores the internet and gives you like the best results, and kind of do that, and give yourself an elongated period of time to make things work. And and if you every so often you're gonna have to reset, you're gonna have to kind of regather, and there's gonna be times you're gonna take times off, but don't ever quit. Don't ever quit, and give yourself an elongated time frame. Like, I want to say 90 days, but a lot of people are gonna find that ridiculous. But I want to say 90 days, but do it for 30. Do it for 30. Do something for 30 days every day, and you're going to see how that one thing you're going to become so much better at, so much more fluent. You're going to be proud of yourself, but for keeping your word to yourself. If you have anybody that's close to you that's witnessing the journey go on, they're gonna notice. So there's just a lot of wins to it, and then you can kind of see, if you're gonna do it in short windows like that, maybe you can experiment a little bit. Do a few different things. Um, that's about it, and enjoy the good times, because the bad times, they show up uninvited, man. And sometimes they're here for a short stay, and sometimes they have no return ticket in sight. So enjoy the good times. Structure a system to get the things that are important to you done, so you're happier and you treat the people around you better. Have and try new experiences, because new experiences bring new thoughts, and new thoughts bring new actions, and new actions can build a new life for yourself. Um, for everyone out there that's hyper happy in the situation that they're in, I congratulate you. It's a really tough time to be there, like all the way. And everybody knows, everybody that does have higher highs and lower lows knows that even if you've accomplished a whole bunch of things in your life that you set out to do, there's still days where it just kind of feels like, like what are we doing here, right? But for everybody that's been goal oriented their whole life, man, I applaud you, because even though I feel like I've been a pretty driven individual for a good amount of my life, there is definitely a lot of time where I feel like I just kind of gambled that time away. Um, what lens are you looking at the world through, guys? That's the question. You know what I mean? And today's prompt, when I drew it this morning, was a championship ring, was like a class ring, right? And that made me think, and that actually spawned the idea of like, man, maybe I should do a live today, right? Because it's like, you can't get the ring and or acquire the thing if you're not actually playing, right? Everybody that has a class ring is not because they were the best of the best, or they were the superior being in that class. It's because they accomplished something, right? And they do it together as a class. That everybody has something to share there, of a sacrifice that they made and effort that they put in to actually have something tangible in the end. And along with that, you know, tangibility of the class ring is the years of schooling, the knowledge learned, the people that you met, and the network that you built. And it just made me think, like, man, you need to get on here and do a live stream. So like I said, today was going to be a short one, guys. I applaud everybody that got in the live chat with me. I appreciate you guys very much. I am going to get off of here. I'm looking like I was on here for 22 minutes. Um, it's March 26th, I want to say, 2026. Um, I'm going to continue to come on here and do my thing. I'm hoping that I can become a lot more consistent and build more of a community of like minded individuals where we can kind of bounce ideas off of each other, see where this goes. I'm always going to continue to draw. I'm always going to continue to tattoo. And I'm always going to try to get as much information as I can and come on here and maybe spitball a little bit. And maybe you guys can do the same with me. And, this could be a 50-50 partnership. Thank you so much. Everyone who tuned in, again, enjoy the rest of the week. We're towards the tail end. For the weekend, I hope you have good weather. It seems like we're going to have great weather. We've been having great weather for the last week or so. If the temp goes up a bit, we're probably going to hit the pool. Have a great one. My name is Manny Cabrera. It's live from the capsule, and I'm out of here, guys.